This up. Revengeance Blade Wolf DLC run, and we're actually really close. We're at $16,081.69 out of $25,000, so we can keep pushing for that. We're close, and listen, we're close to hitting $1 million. $1 million, guys. Let's get some hype for that. Okay, I just got the thumbs up. We are super ready. Let's send it on over. We have Kirby Tilt and Tumble Warpless by Swordsmankirby. Enjoy.
All right, hey everyone, Swordsmankirby. I'm going to be running Kirby Tilt and Tumble. It's a Game Boy Color game. If you didn't hear the explanation earlier, there's an accelerometer inside of the cartridge. And in order to stream this game, you got to use a Game Boy player attachment to the GameCube. So in order for me to actually manipulate the accelerometer, I'm going to be rotating the GameCube as I'm playing. And in addition to that, I also have a SNES controller attached to the GameCube. I still need to use the D-pad and press the buttons. So yeah, that's my explanation for the controls. So we can get started. Are we ready on the countdown? All right, counting down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! Yeah, so you're holding a GameCube. What possessed you to do this?
I don't know. Some guy named Altabiscuit once streamed this about 8 years ago. And I was a chain of events happened, and now I'm streaming this game on GDQ.
Yeah. We've had Tilt on GDQ a couple times before, but this will be the first time, and we got the all levels category here.
Yeah, so Kirby Tilt and Tumble is kind of a weird game. It has a lot of Mario elements to it, so this is kind of like a Super Mario Brothers kind of game, where you've got 8 worlds, 4 levels each in each world, and there are warps that can take you ahead a bunch of, and skip a bunch of worlds. So we're going to be playing the all levels category, so no warps, you'll see all 32 levels. This first one right here is just sort of a flying stage. The goal of this is to stay in the air actually as little time as possible. So we skip some of the balloons here that give us air. When you touch a balloon, you'll see that the countdown timer goes up to 15. And there's actually no way to get out of flying except for waiting for that countdown to disappear. Over here is a little bit of a secret area. As you can see, there's a red star. So in addition to all levels, there's a 100% category where you have to collect a red star in each level. And then once you've done that, you've got to do it again all over the entire game on hard mode. So the 100% category is much longer. We're just going to be doing all levels. We can skip the red stars.
Also, a quick little thing here, too. Landing in the center gets you a 1-up, which wastes a little bit of time there. So SK is going to want to get as close as he can to the center without actually getting the center.
Yeah. So one thing to note is that I'm playing on the Japanese version. And for a long time, we actually didn't really know if Japanese or English was faster. One big difference is that in this stage, in this stage, there are these cloud platforms that are spinning around. And in the Japanese version, you actually can't control how fast these are going, but actually with the tilt on the English version, you can actually make them spin faster. So on the English version is a little bit faster on this stage, but there are a couple of differences, a couple of minor ones. For a long time, we actually didn't know which was faster. And people would ask one of the runners, what are the advantages of playing the Japanese version? And he would basically respond, it's cheaper on eBay. And for a long time, finally now we know that the Japanese version is faster, and I'll point out the differences when we get there. So just like Super Mario Brothers, the 4th stage in each world is sort of a castle stage, and afterwards there's going to be a boss fight.
Yeah, these castle stages can, forgive the pun, it can be a little tilting because there's often a lot of pinball elements in these stages. You're trying to hit switches and do all sorts of other things within a short amount of time.
All right, so I already took a death earlier, but I'm still going to show this off anyways. You might notice that at the bottom right, there's a timer that counts down. And after you defeat the boss, it's going to count down really slowly down to 0 before the stage actually ends. So in order to make this countdown a little bit quicker, what you can do is that you can take a death abuse like this. Your timer will reset down to 100, and then you do the fight normally. All right, so Observer is the name of most of the bosses in this run. All I'm gonna do is just sort of kite it around like this, wait for the invincibility to run out, and then do a jump off of one of these holes in the ground. All right, there we go.
Clean, clean.
Oh, this is another minor thing, but SK tries to get the eyeball towards the edge of the screen as close as possible just to make that spinning death animation go by quicker.
Yeah, so one thing that you can do with the D-pad, even though most of the time you're moving Kirby around with the actual tilting, is to control the camera. And there's a couple of different applications of that, but for the bosses, the main one is to basically pan the camera so that the boss is at the edge of the screen, so it spins off screen faster.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of speed tech in this game, and you probably wouldn't expect it for something like this. And really, if you didn't have to hold the GameCube around just to capture video of it, it would probably be a little more popular as a speed run. The TAS is absolutely ridiculous. It's a good watch.
Now, if I recall, I think one of the differences between English and Japanese is the title screen, right?
Right, so you saw that after the boss, I did a reset. The sound effect for, Koro Kirby is shorter than Kirby Tilt and Tumble by about a second, so the Japanese version does save a little bit of time in that regard. Whoops. So Tutu is one of the first stages I would say is like pretty difficult casually. As you can see, you're supposed to be balancing on these platforms. And it's surprisingly difficult to hold like completely neutral on the accelerometer. But here we're going to just skip by jumping over this. And another difference between the Japanese version and the English version is the second half of this stage here. I'm playing the Japanese version, so I'll be able to try to do this. If I roll the dice like this, the door just stays open. And for whatever reason, if you roll the dice, normally the dice controls which direction you go in. We runners tend to prefer the upper path, and there's a glitch that basically allows the red door to spawn open by rolling the dice at the right time.
I never knew about that one.
Maybe the developers were aware of this, and the English version, the second half of the stage is actually completely different.
I also love the expressions between each level. They're too good.
All right, more camera, just getting these clouds to spawn at a different time. All right.
Now's a good time to look at the camera for this one on the stream.
Oh, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, more camera. We're actually going to take this cloud platform in reverse. All right, and then yet another camera trick right here. These Gordos, these spiky enemies, we actually want them to spawn sooner so we can jump over them without having to wait.
And it's been a while since I've seen these runs, and like I'm feeling a lot of blink and you'll miss it kind of moments here.
Yeah, that stage is pretty dense with tricks.
Oh, these screens in between, if you beat the level really fast, it also does the screen transition a lot faster. So there's just a lot of things that encourage you to go fast, which is good for us.
Yeah.
There's our goal after all. We gotta go fast.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to jump as soon as possible on these buttons. One trick here is that when Kirby is in the air, he's actually less sensitive to left and right movements, so that's why I'm jumping there while also tilting those walls over to the side. The walls are sensitive to the tilt motion as well, so you gotta be sort of gentle in how you do that. Okay, this one's an easier death abuse. The first one, you had to jump on the spikes in kind of a weird way, but here you can actually just fall off. The first boss, there's a little bit of a safety net, but here, I guess they try to make it harder by making it easier to fall off. This boss is a little bit different. After each hit, it will jump up into the air. So after the first one, I'm gonna try to stay where it jumped into the air. And then afterwards, do a shake input and get to go back to its original spot a little bit quicker. Oops. Nope. Unfortunately, it also responds to your tilt movement. All right. Okay.
So, in spite of SK holding a GameCube here, I actually found this game easier to play holding a GameCube than on a Game Boy Color. And the reason for that is that you're still got to look at the Game Boy Color while you're tilting it, and that kind of makes it even more difficult to go where you want.
Yeah, I never beat this game as a kid, and that's probably like a big reason why too, honestly.
This level is actually pretty hard. You might be wondering why you can't just like sort of do a jump and go directly onto a wall, but you have to actually sometimes use the terrain. All right, here, once again, holding true neutral is difficult. All right.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, you can't jump over those wooden pegs.
Yeah. So there's two kinds of jumps that you can do in this game, or two different ways that you can get into the air. Either using the terrain like I'm doing right now, or to do a shake input. Shake inputs actually can't really clear walls unless you're already standing on a wall. So there's a lot of places where there's a wall and you're wondering, why don't I just jump over it? You actually can't unless you have some terrain element that helps you out with that. All right, this level, not too interesting. There's just sort of like a floor that disappears behind you, so now would be a good time for a donation or two.
Absolutely. And before I do, can I just say Twitch chat absolutely loves this run. I think some are just as bewildered as they are impressed. I have a donation here for $500 from the GameCube, who says, "I'm so dizzy." Me too. Me too. Kirby fan also for $50 says, "Had to donate during Kirby today. I've never seen Tilt and Tumble before, especially not on GameCube. Good luck to the runner and Poyo."
Booyah!
Poyo. Also one here from Asteria for $50 as well, who says, "First time watcher of SGDQ, loving the run and the runners. Let's get to 1 million for MSF. Heck yes. Let's do it tonight."
All right, so I'm on this stage, the main gimmick is this raft. You can do sort of a dash attack kind of thing. For the second raft here, I'm actually gonna skip it because it's faster to just bounce in the water like this and to take damage repeatedly off the enemies. So in water, if you stay for 3 seconds, you'll drown. So one thing you can do is that you can actually press the A button to jump and sort of skip on the water like a rock.
Still no bonus one-ups yet.
I'll probably hit one at some point in this run.
Also, I think we got to do this once, so say the line, SK.
Say the line, SK.
I'm using tilt controls.
Yeah!
Okay, so 3-4, it's another one of these castle stages. Basically, most of the stage is this auto-scroll right here, these two robots. You can bounce off of them and fall off pretty easily. I'm just gonna say one thing about this, which is this sort of risky thing that you can do at the end, where you can see that it's creating platforms where you don't have to wait the entire time. You can do something what we call a robot jump, which gives you a lot of horizontal momentum. But if you miss it, you have to wait this entire auto-scroller all over again. So, not gonna go for it, but that's just basically what it looks like. So here's another good time for a couple more donations.
Absolutely. We have a donation here from Pine Diablo for $5. $5 hype train, anyone? Pine Diablo says, "Had to donate during Kirby TNT. As a kid, I was obsessed and confounded by this game, and I feel the same watching the speedrun. Thank you so much, Swordsman Kirby, for bringing it to SGDQ again, less than 3. Thank you, Pine Diablo. We also have a $50 donation here. Gosh, these $50 coming out of nowhere. From Anonymous, who just says, "Pollo, another one."
Booyah!
You definitely say it better than me.
I do my best over here.
Also, Baha L said for $50, my goodness, says tilting and tumbling in a GameCube. Sign me up.
All right, I'm gonna purposely take a death here. It's right before the boss, so it doesn't really incur that much extra time. But the idea is that in the boss, there's this sort of unskippable cutscene that you want to avoid. Okay, so so triple jumps right here give you temporary invincibility. And I'll skip on the water to crash through those robots.
Yeah, you can extend your invincibility time by jumping a bunch. And so there's a couple of applications of that, especially in these castle levels.
Yeah, so if the Observer enemy looked a little bit familiar, I guess the Kirby series really likes its one-eyed bosses. Here's Krakow. It's basically a space shooter. When you're in the air, you only have 2 of these puffs, but I'm just firing it basically into the wall of enemies behind it, so it looks like I'm firing pretty much continuously.
There's a wall of enemies. There's just a lot of Goros back there.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Oops. Luckily I had health for that.
Wow, that was a lot of damage.
Yeah.
It takes care of 2/3 of your health if you hit it just once. Okay, so the main gimmick of World 4 is sand, and there's a lot of them. So I'm gonna be trying to do some frame perfect sand jumps like this. Oh, this is actually going really well.
Hey. Just extend the skill ceiling of this game, honestly.
Yeah, so obviously you don't want to be rolling around in the quicksand. It's really slow. And when I say frame perfect, it is technically, but the jump input that you make actually can be a couple of frames. So it's not really frame perfect. But I like saying frame perfect.
Really?
It's a buzzword, I get it.
Yeah, it makes it sound more impressive than it actually is.
Really, you could probably say anything, and who's going to call you out on it? the tilt community here.
Yeah, all 2 of us, I guess. All right, the sand jumps actually went really well on that stage. It's better than pretty much like any run that I've done. Okay, so the game sort of sets up a bunch of more opportunities for you to do triple jumps, like right here. So I'm gonna actually not do the 3rd jump. And it's just, I think it reduces lag a little bit. Oh, I'm getting bounced around. A note about these bumpers, if it's red, it sort of normally bumps you upwards, and blue bumps you to the side. So sometimes the color is actually important. Okay, but I'll take that triple jump right there.
Yeah,
Missed the wall ride.
doing a shake input also just changes the color of them.
Oh, there's your one up. Yeah. So one thing that you might have seen me do is jump out of the sand at the very, very edge. For all these sand platforms, the very edge is sort of normal ground. Okay, 4-3, a lot of narrow paths, but it's actually faster to do sort of risky jumps like this. Ooh, that was closer than I wanted it to be. Okay, that's the first half. Second half has a lot of those like little sand squares like this. I'm gonna try to jump off the edge of all these. All right.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Making me nervous there.
Same.
I was definitely expecting to fall off there randomly. This is my least favorite castle stage. Castle stages, a lot of them are not very fun to begin with. And then combine that with sand and spikes.
Just about every castle has an opening segment like that with those buttons, and they can be pretty difficult.
I actually do want to use the spikes a little bit. Oops. Okay, useless invincibility here. So the red star is hidden over there, so you need the invincibility, but other than that, I don't really need it for this category. Oop. Yeah, this part right here is never fun. I'm just constantly taking damage and eventually get to the end of this. Okay, so I said that the way that you have to damage these Observer enemies is to use the terrain to jump on it. You can't just jump on it with a shake jump. But one thing that's cool is that when you take big damage, like either being hit by a big enemy or by the spikes, you actually do hop up into the air. You can actually use that to damage the boss. So we're going to be using that on this World 4 one. The main gimmick here is that it opens and closes its eyes, so it's only vulnerable some of the time. And for the rest of these hits, I'm going to use the spike wall over here. Oh, no. That's not good. I'll do this hit this way. Oh, nope. Got off me. Okay. Let me try to demonstrate it. Okay, like that.
Nice, nice.
No. Overall, that fight could have gone better, but oh well.
At least that gets you out of the sand stages.
Yeah. Well, if the sand stages were no fun, World 5 is all about ice. Everyone's favorite mechanic in video games, ice physics.
Yay.
I'm going to use a camera right here just to, whoops, I messed it up anyways, to get those bumpers to spawn a little bit later. I'm going to be doing some more risky jumps here.
Oh. Ooh, okay. I'm awake now.
Not even the worst one. This is the worst one. Okay.
All right, I'm super awake now.
Overall, besides those 2 deaths I took earlier on, getting these like harder tricks that sometimes I didn't even go for in regular runs has been going well, actually. Right. Another one-stage gimmick. Here you have this floor that alternates red and blue. So sometimes the blue is active, sometimes red's active. After this first part of waiting, you're actually just sort of going full speed ahead.
And I guess we know where Mario Galaxy stole this mechanic from.
Yeah. The critically acclaimed Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Okay, just trying to ride this wall here so I can land in the center of the goal game. Yeah, so this game, I long suspected that it was not really like a sort of originally a Kirby IP. And indeed, this game was originally developed by Nintendo first before it was decided that Kirby would make a good character for this. That explains a lot of the Mario elements.
Yeah, it's like this game, Epic Yarn, I forget the other Kirby game that I think started as something else.
Dream Course?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
All of those are good games, by the way. You should play it.
Agreed.
Okay, another risky trick here.
Oh, hello.
Okay, just going to try to spawn these Gordos at just the right time so I can run through like this without having to wait. Oops. Okay, so that's the red star. Not really a big time loss, but not too concerned if I pick that one up.
Yeah, just in case you missed it, some of those clouds have a rotating indicator. You might have seen it for like a brief moment there, but that's why SK was being shot around in all sorts of directions.
All right, another little camera trick just to avoid the bumpers pushing me out. This puzzle is actually probably the hardest one in the game.
I think in my first playthrough of this, it was the one in World 7 that got me the most trouble.
Oh, we'll see the World 7 one. Okay, over that wall. That one's sort of like a 50-50 for me. It's not a big deal if I don't get over that wall. Okay, so World 5, yet another Orb Observer fight. For this one right here, the main gimmick is that for the third hit, after you've done 2 hits, what will happen is that it will start going in one direction and not follow you. It makes getting the third hit kind of tricky and pretty inconsistent, at least for me. But the first 2 hits, it follows you, so that's not too bad. Okay. So normally the invincibility lasts a little bit over 8 seconds. So I try to use the countdown timer to sort of estimate when it's going to be. So about 83 there, so I'm looking at 74 or 75. Oh, I really don't want to get pushed off at this point. No, I did a shake input right before I landed on it. All right, there you
Nice,
go.
nice.
That fight can really get away from you. It's just dancing around, just can't hit it. It's a little bit too slippery. Oh, right, I need to reset. So the reason why I reset is because there are a couple cutscenes that play after the boss. And it saves actually some significant amount of time, like 6 seconds or something like that to reset.
Hey, this is a level I recognize. It's in the any percent, right?
Yeah. So the 80% run goes from 3-1 to 6-1 to 8-1 with the warps. But we're going to be skipping the warps.
See you, Wispy.
Yeah. So Wispy Woods, sort of a recurring boss in the Kirby series, gets sort of relegated to just being a warp point in this game. Oops. So normally the warp is hidden behind a bonus area to the top left, but we're going to skip it and just go to the end of the stage. This guy is annoying.
Get out of the way, Cappy. Come on.
Okay, yeah.
We gotta go fast.
Okay, 6-2. The first part of this, there are these Poppy Bros enemies that are rolling back and forth in my way. I'm just going to be using shake inputs, like not necessarily shake jumps, but I can still do the input while I'm in the air to just get them sort of out of the way at just the right time.
I feel like this was a Dream Course level.
And don't get caught by the UFOs, and that's basically it.
Probably got time for a donation or two here, too.
Wonderful. I've been holding back on this one. I'm usually very professional, but I've been laughing my head off. A Crumb 92 for $10 says, no, we can't have Nintendo Switch. We have Nintendo Switch at home. I think that's my favorite donation of the entire event so far. We also have a very, very important and noteworthy donation here for $460
Nice.
from
Nice.
Ellipsis, who, if you remember, was one of the runners of our previous game, Lumione, and says, it was an honor to be a part of SGDQ and run Lumione. As promised, here is $10 per death. Big thanks to everyone who is working so hard to make this event as fun and safe as possible, and GG to Breakdown. Thank you so much, Ellipsis. We got time for a couple more?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry, I read that one. From Malicious, we have $50 who says, hi, Rhilever. I'm a believer that we should start some Dono Fever. Bring on the million. We also have here from, I'm so sorry if I butchered this, Surreptitious Sneak for $25 who says, Kirby Tilt and Tumble was my first Kirby game and one of the reasons I fell in love with the series. Here's 5 tickets for that $5 hype train. Let's get to $1 million. Hoyo!
Booyah.
I see, I still can't do it as good as you.
I've got a lot of experience. I'm playing Kirby for years.
So there's another instance of the dice, and there's only 3 of them in the game. That one doesn't really matter that much, but the main thing that's kind of annoying about the dice is that, is that it can sometimes be neither direction. Neither gate will open, and to be on a really good pace right at the end of the run and have that happen repeatedly is no fun. But for this one, the dice roll is actually almost completely inconsequential in terms of which path is faster. Okay, so World 6, this is actually another Krakow fight. Unlike the previous one where there's sort of like a guard railing at the beginning, over here we can actually just fall off immediately. Alright. You might notice that I'm jumping into the balloon right at the beginning. For whatever reason, if you're on the ground when this fight starts, you actually don't get control of Kirby until like 2 seconds later. But if you're in the air, for some reason, you immediately get control. This fight is pretty similar to the previous one, except now he's shooting lightning bolts. They do a full bar of health, but not really a big deal. Whoops. Ran into it again. That's okay. I want it to be right in front of the star.
It's so strange, man. You just spawn so many Gordos out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You can't do it in any other Kirby game. This is like the only one.
Okay, World 7 is where it sort of ramps up. The one stage gimmick of this one is that you press B for the pink tiles to show up, and you press A for the pink ones and B for the blue ones. Sorry, I can't speak. If you let go for just a little bit, you fall and die. So there's a pretty long stage where you have to hold these down. What? Oh, okay, this is what I mean. I let go for B for like a split second, trying to press A at the same time. So this time I'll just go around and be a little bit safer about it.
This mechanic always bewildered me just because there's like zero indication that you needed to press buttons for it.
Right. What? Okay, that was completely my fault. I wasn't expecting to actually hit that conveyor belt. What? Okay, I shouldn't have played around there.
Did I know that that's never happened before moments?
Yeah.
Let's go.
My one that never happened moment.
It's okay, you're holding a GameCube. I think everybody understands.
Okay, let me hold A this time. Nice. All right.
Yatta!
That stage is not the hard one this world. All right. So 7.2 features more of these cloud cycles, and for these ones you actually can spin them to go faster. So the setup at the beginning is just to try to catch these as early as possible, and then I'll wait for this one to come around. Okay. That's the first half. Then after this checkpoint, I would say it's a little bit awkward, a lot of these platforms. I'll try to do them quickly.
I see we got Revenge of the Sand there too.
Why is there sand? The cloud world. What happened?
Oh, that was a little bit close. All right, get me out of here. Okay.
It's amazing how generous and not generous the platforms can be in this game at the same time.
Right.
Especially that one jump any percent does in 1-3.
Okay. A little bit of a fork in the road. We'll take the sort of intended path. Oops. Okay, this part's a little bit scary.
Ooh.
Okay, one nice property about moving platforms and walls is that you can actually jump immediately off of them. So I use that there. Normally, Kirby sort of takes a bounce and you have to wait for him to finish the bounce. Okay. This part's really nerve-wracking when you've been holding a GameCube for 35 minutes. Your palms are sweaty and you're on a good pace. It's no fun.
About 32 and a half, but who's counting right now?
Oops. Okay, let's try this again. Once again, holding true neutral is actually pretty difficult, especially on a GameCube. Okay.
Nice.
All right, so the castle stage is sort of a, harder version, the slow walk across the screen. This castle level is basically a harder version of the one in World 3. And it starts off once again with one of these robot auto-scrollers, this time with more obstacles, but now is another good time for about 2 minutes of donations.
Absolutely. Before we do, I'm gonna switch up that $5 hype train. Let's make it a $5 Poyo train. I want to be perfect at it by the end of this run. Geek Prune with $25 says, had to donate during a Kirby game as it's my daughter's favorite of the series. Thanks GDQ for putting together something we can share. Thank you, Geek. Also from Waiter KK with $100, who says, long-time watcher, first-time donating. Today is a month since I became a father, and by now I understood how important it is to help those who are in need, especially for children. I was always watching GDQ, and I will always do, hopefully with my son soon.
Hey, congratulations.
We have time for one more?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a really big one. Jody, with no comment, has donated $1,500.
God dang, all right. Let's go.
There is some serious love coming in for this run. So keep it on up, guys, because we are going to hit the 1 million. It's not a question. We're going to do it. We also have $25 here from Jess Capricorn, who says, love GDQ. Thanks for everything you do. And Liam with $100 says, very cool Kirby run. Thank you to the runners and the organizers. Time for a couple more?
Yeah, one more would be good.
Sure. $25 here from Saw, who says, modded Stepmania. Choo choo. 5 tickets to the hype train. Thank you, Saw.
Okay, done with that. Now we have the checkpoint. And there are a bunch of those switch puzzles, but we're actually going to skip all of them with some triple jumps. Okay, good.
Nice.
Those switch puzzles are a nightmare if you do it the regular way.
So the countdown timer for invincibility, I think, only triggers when you're on the ground. So that's why you see me sort of jumping up into the air repeatedly. All right, this one is a really annoying boss. It's sort of a combination of the World 4 and World 5 bosses where it can open and close its eyes and then also sort of not follow you for the last hit. So I have a setup. It's not really very good or consistent, but we'll see how it works out. Okay, first hit, and then I'm going to camp out over here. One tile of safe space here. And I'll try to hit it while it follows me this way. Okay. 64, 56. And this is my weird setup. Slow and doesn't really work. Okay, let it jump over me. Or I'll jump over it. All right, good.
Nice.
Yeah, as you can see, there's a long countdown.
Oh, is there no way to do a death here?
No, it's because I already took a death, so I didn't think it was worthwhile to take another one.
For sure.
Okay, World 8, last world.
Yeah, normally in a lot of games, World 8 is where the gloves come off, so to speak, but it's really not that bad compared to some of the previous ones.
Yeah, some of these stages are okay, with a couple of tricky portions. So this one, most of it, this is fine. I can just, if I want to be really safe, I can just jump over all these obstacles. But there's one little tricky part coming up at the very, very end, where I want to sneak around this bumper. All right, nice. All right. Okay. 8-2 features last dice roll. There's basically, there's actually 2 of them. And we want to be on the left side for both of them. Let's see how my marathon luck is. Roll the dice. This is the worst path.
And then you got those caboos that try to knock it down, too.
I'm just going to sort of deboost off of them. I'm going to switch the color right here to get a little bit of an extra boost. Blue pushes you sideways, while red pushes you up. So with that in mind, I'm going to switch this over to blue so that when I jump over, yeah, I would have died if it was still blue. So when I jumped, it switched over to red, and I was able to survive that jump. So there's a secret invincibility candy that you can use. What?
Oh.
used to crash through those blocks over there. Okay, just for fun, I'm gonna try to YOLO this jump here. Okay, that turned out well. As you can see, the blue one pushes you off to the side. So if you're not on the left half of that bumper, then, okay, safer jump here. If you're not on the left half, you'll be pushed into the pit.
Is that the one time invisibility can't use in the game?
There's a couple other spots.
There are a couple other spots, but in the run, this is the only one that we optimally go for.
Gotcha.
Okay, A3 is a long auto scroller, so actually what we're gonna do here is to access the bonus area, complete the bonus area, and that'll put us in the second half of the level. So this is trickier than it looks, even just to get those directions. Sometimes, for example, when I press A, it suddenly goes off in a different direction. So luckily, that went okay.
It's probably last time for donations, a good time here.
Absolutely. I'm not sure what I unleashed here. Jason LaRose with 5 tickets to the $5 hype train, $25 donation, says, it's pollo practice for the presenter. Here's a post with a plethora of pollos to help you push towards pollo-ing like a pro. Greetings from Pollo. Pollo goes to Kirby's choice.
Pollo!
All right, there's a little bit of a trick here, or a glitch, I guess, where I'm gonna skip this last balloon right here. Oops, lagging a little bit. And it's basically like a massive damage boost. Okay, good. So Kirby shoots up straight into the air, and then I'll just land on the goal game.
Wow, okay. You got it, Kirby.
Oh, that's a new trick since I last ran this game.
Yeah, so that's a Japanese-only version, patched out in the English version. For some reason, when you run out of air and bump into a gordo like that, you just go straight up into the air. So I'm gonna manufacture sort of a triple jump right here, do a lot of jumps to preserve the invincibility, and get through those robots. That switch puzzle is really hard if you do it the normal way. All right. One last key. I'm gonna try to do these jumps a little bit quicker to try to get invincibility. Okay, nice. I'll do one jump to preserve it so I don't have to worry about these bumpers. All right, that actually went pretty smoothly. Okay, one last, falling off one last time before the final boss. This one is similar to the World 1 Death Abuse, but sideways. All right.
Nice.
Nice.
And now for the final boss, it's Deity, and I'm gonna try to get him in a stun lock. So the way that this fight works is that you have this cannon that you can only use this cannon to damage him, and you have to hit him from behind so that he loses invincibility. I'll try to get a stun lock here. I'll wait for him to come around. So this is how the fight would normally proceed, and you would try to hit him while he's walking along the back row, but I really want to try to show off this stun lock right here.
Yeah, the cannon jumps when you do a shake input, so it makes it a little difficult.
Okay, we kind of got it.
Got a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll just try to finish out this fight normally. Oh, Maxim Tomato. One last camera trick. And time will be after the text fades out over here. So it's not on last hit because this part right here can waste various amounts of time. So when this text fades out, that's time. And time.
Well done.
Thank you. 42-41. A lot of sort of strange deaths in that run, but it's okay. I just want to shout out all the Tilt and Tumble runners, past and present, especially Dan Zyber, who has done a lot of work on this run. And I just want to thank my couch commentators. Thanks GDQ for having me. I've been sort of wanting to run this game for a little while, so I'm happy that I was accepted for this marathon. Thank you very much.
What an absolutely adorable, fun, and pretty unique run right there. That was Kirby's Tilt and Tumble, run by Swordsman Kirby. Can we get another round of applause for that one, guys? I'm biased, but I think that was one of my favorites. And chat, one more GDQ spin for the road. We have a donation here, $25 here, from Andrew, who says, Kirby Tilt and Tumble is such a unique game, and I'm glad to have owned it growing up. Good luck on the run, and let's hit 1 million. Puyo! All right, guys, we're just gonna go on a quick break here, stretch your legs, grab some water, and we will be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. I hope you stretch your legs and got some water. We're just currently getting set up for the next run. We're on with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna. That is going to be run by Ina, I believe is the pronunciation. We spoke about it earlier, but I'm one with a terrible memory. We currently have only a little bit left to go for that. In the meantime, I wanted to read a couple of donations. We still have more Poyoing coming in. Prometheus with $25 says, shout outs for the spinning game cube with the Poyoing Kirby inside. Thank you very much. We also have a $10 donation here from Anonymous who says, thank you for all the work that you guys do. Keep rocking. Thank you very much, Anonymous. I just got the thumbs up. We're ready to send you guys over for the interview with Jhobz and bryonato, who will soon to be running Solar Ash. So enjoy and take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am Sunburnt Jhobz, and I am joined by Sunburnt bryonato, and we're here to talk about why we're sunburnt. The fiery, hot speedrun that is Solar Ash.
Also about 3.5 hours of disc golf.
Listen, we're not going to go into that one. Bri, thanks for joining me.
Of course, I'm happy to be here. I'm really excited to run Solar Ash. It's a game that more people need to know about. And I love LLK's work again on this.
Amazing.
This is so great.
Such great art. So tell us a little bit about Solar Ash. Like, why is it a game that people should, look at?
For sure. Generally, I have like an elevator pitch for Solar Ash. I usually say it's like a combination of mechanics from Celeste and Jet Set Radio Future and Shadow of the Colossus. The way that kind of like the game has like similar story beats to Celeste, but also you have a dash mechanic that functions in a similar way. You're kind of skating around and grinding on rails everywhere like Jet Set Radio Future, and it has these big scenic vistas and boss battles like you might see in Shadow of the Colossus. So it's a really interesting mishmash of all of those, and I'm a huge fan of it, big believer in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. And I think it comes from a developer that has or a studio that has just a history of good speed games at
Yep.
this point. Hyperlight Drifter was their previous game.
Correct. I'm wearing their Heart Machine hat. Yep. Developers of Hyperlight Drifter. This was their latest game. It came out in December of 2021, so it's still fairly new. So that said, we are going to do a lot of really cool stuff with it. So it's by no means like a.
Oh yeah.
it's definitely not an intended looking speedrun. For sure. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what is challenging in the speedrun, or what makes the speed tech fun for you.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I would say the general like ground friction in the game is really, really low, and so that leads to a lot of opportunities for gaining high momentum and then preserving that momentum. And it's like really easy to like get up to that fast speed, but preserving it over a long period of time is when things get a little bit harder. So there are some like bullet time mechanics, and you know that anytime a speed run has bullet time, you're going to be able to abuse it in some way. And we definitely do that alongside the rail grind mechanic to do some really cool launches and some pretty wild skips. It'll be cool.
And I know you as somebody who's often drawn to games that have, I would say, very smooth movement.
Yes,
right?
definitely a movement in the game runner for sure.
Yeah, because like there's kind of speedruns that are based around individual tricks, but there's also speedruns that are based around everything just being broken, and then sometimes it's around the movement just being very fluid and smooth. Is that an accurate assessment? Like what really hits you when you decide to jump into it?
Yeah, for sure. It's always the movement. Like almost part of it is like the movement also is like, does this game have something that I think is really cool and unique that I haven't found in another experience before? And Solar Ash definitely ticks a lot of those boxes. So we have a decent amount of really cool movement. We have a cool amount of glitches. I'm running the restricted category, which is decidedly not no major glitches, but we are restricting some stuff that would cut out like significant portions of the game. So basically it's like a rule set to do a lot of the cool stuff, but not the super broken stuff.
It's the stuff we like category.
Yeah, the stuff we like category. I am a big believer in arbitrary categories. We need more of those.
Yeah,
speedrunners first.
We need more of the SWL, the stuff we like category.
The stuff we like category, for sure. Huge believer in that.
There's our new acronym for speedrunning, SWL. Give us like a moment people can look forward to if they're not familiar with this game, something that can kind of hook them, something they should look forward to.
Yeah, I would say, well, the run gets started. We have our entire movement kit in the run basically immediately.
Ooh,
as soon as the run starts, we have everything available to us. It starts at a pretty brisk pace, and we're doing a lot of cool stuff. I would say the moment that is the most gripping is when we get into the second mission in the game, Broken Capital, and we get introduced to the rail grind mechanics. We have that bullet time mechanic that I talked about. And anytime you touch a rail, you get like a little speed boost. However, like that speed boost isn't capped, so you can stack that multiple times.
Oh, wow.
And when you have bullet time and you can stack stuff, you might imagine how you might launch. So basically, as soon as we get into Broken Capital, that's when I think that's when the game really, I guess, goes off the rails, so to speak. I wasn't intending for that to be a joke, but there we go.
Well, it's almost time for us to get out of here. But real quick, I know that you are a big stickler for commentary. You love focusing on that.
Yeah.
Tell me about a maybe special surprise guest that's going to be on the game.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. Heart Machine sent out the lead environmental designer on the game, Wolfgang. She's going to be here on the couch with us.
Wow.
And in person, which is really special. So I think we're going to get a lot of really interesting insight, and I'm excited.
That's a neat perspective. I'm really excited for that as well. All right, everybody, you should tune in for Solar Ash coming up a little bit later today. But of course, first I am going to let our host take it back away because we got more speedruns to watch. We'll see you all later.
All right, audience, keep that applause going because we are actually ready straight away to go into the next run. It's Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, any % glitchless, and that's going to be run by